Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. You guys already know what to do. I'm gonna give you a minute to do so, to do what you need to get. Ain't nothing new, so get it done. And yeah, come on, guys. Yeah, we have a lot to get into. So today we're going to be discussing one of the most famous games that I love to play, that I'm pretty sure you guys know about. If you don't know about the show, I'm going to bring it to your knowledge so you can now know about it. But the name of this PlayStation, but I believe it's on all gaming platforms, is called it's called The Last of Us. Its most recent is The Last of Us Part 2. I forgot which year it came out, 2021, 2022, sometime around then I believe so. Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about the viral um Cordyceps, Cordyceps, however you pronounce it, and how it started, how it spreads. The Cordyceps, I'm gonna say it the best way I know how, brain infection featured in the Last of Us franchise, is actually based on a real life fungal infection that can affect insects. The Cordyceps brain infection (CBI) is the fungal infection responsible for wiping out half of its society in the Last of Us franchise. In the original The Last of Us, the outbreak initially begins in September 2013. The fungus infects an individual while they are still alive, as the infection can only affect living bodies, not dead ones. CBI can spread through a bite from an infected individual or exposure to spores. Infected individuals go through four stages of infection, each being more grotesque than the next. The infected individual begins showing symptoms within a couple of days, and then by stage two, they'll begin showing aggressive and inexplainable behavior as the fungus takes hold on their brain. Eventually, by stage three, the fungus is covering the infected individual's eyes, rendering them blind. Characters in the game refer to these sorts of zombie-like creatures as clickers due to their reliance on echolocation to get around. Finally, by stage four, the individual will have the fungus covering almost all their body at an advanced stage. The infected may be able to shoot spores out of the fungus growing on them. A newspaper clipping in The Last of Us that can be found at Joel and Sarah's house reveals the infection began spreading after a series of crops became infected in South America. The Food and Drug Administration investigation of crops potentially tainted with mold continues across the country. The article reads: Initial list disturbed to vendors nationwide warned against crops imported from South America. But now the scope has extended into include Central America and Mexico. Several companies have already voluntarily recalled their food products from the shelves. But the cordyceps brain infection was based on a real life fungal infection that affects insects. Um, it's a fungal parasite that infects and then kills insects, namely Formicinae ants. Inverse explains. Victims of the fungus go through a drastic physical change in addition to physio I don't even feel like trying to figure that out. Within the insect, much like how the cordyceps take over an infected body in the Last of Us franchise, thereby slowly killing the host from the inside. The infection featured in the game is actually particularly based on famous episode of Planet Earth that shows an ant becoming infected, um, and eventually dying. In the games, this infection has matured. I mean, not matured, mutated, explaining why it's able to infect humans. However, in reality, this condition can only infect insects, not people. Due to the nature of the fungi, it would be impossible for this to mutate and wreak havoc on human bodies. Cordyceps brain infection is one of the scariest parts of the Last of Us franchise, but luckily it can't really impact humans for life. You never want to jinx stuff um, when it comes to stuff like that because you never know the possibility. But yeah, everybody knows The Last of Us. That's the popular game. I play it a lot too. It's very fun. Um, but yeah, I hope you enjoy this review on this Last of Us Part 2 subject or the Last of Us franchise subject. In understanding how the infection works in the game. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, bye bye, guys.